Folks, as we get this organised, because we're recording these sessions, we hope that's okay, and we know that you've got permission forms that came in from home.
As part of the project, we're trying to work out with the 4 weeks that we've been involved with you folks, and with Ms Bell doing follow-up bits and pieces in the sessions between when we come. We're trying to work out what has been the effect, if any, and there may have been no effect on your understanding of what race is and how you're a raced person or whatever. So, could I just start by asking you, generally, how have you found the 4 weeks?
I think it's been pretty interesting, like just learning more about like racism and like that. Pretty much everything has like a cultural background.
Was it stuff you didn't either know or weren't aware of before?
Like I knew it was there, but I just didn't really think much of it. Really, like just sort of went past.
Okay. What's your view of that?
Pretty fun and different, because most things I didn't know before we started this, but then I've learned more about all the race and ethnicity.
Okay. We've focused, and with only 4 sessions we can't cover a lot of stuff, and what we're trying to work out here is what might happen in schools to actually perhaps contribute to a better understanding of the way in which people are discriminated against, often without those who discriminate against them realising that's what they're doing. So we've tried to look at the idea of everyone having race, and so from last week we touched on some stuff about being white and white racial identity. Was that something that you were aware of, that white is a colour too, in effect, that white is a race as well, or was that something that was new to you?
Yeah, you sort of didn't really think of it because like white people are like everywhere sort of thing, and you just think, oh, black people they have a race, Indian people have a race, and you just don't really think white people do really like.
How do you identify racially?
Like by the way they dress.
Oh, sorry, no, that was a crummy question on my part. How do you see yourself? How would you describe yourself racially? White. How would you describe yourself racially? Okay. All right. So
what have you thought about the sessions on Friday so
I
far?
think they were great because they inform and enlighten students about race and ethnicity and the many aspects of them.
Sure, okay. Yep. Matt?
I feel the same way.
Same way, that's good. Yep. Any particular elements over the last 4 weeks that have stood out as being really significant? Any particular instances, perhaps?
When we were discussing those images,
Yep.
the racial ones,
Yep.
the darky toothpaste one was quite interesting.
Yep. So I remember, I think you got into that a little bit. You started talking about ideas of minstrelsy and so on from the imagery that we pulled apart. So that was an interesting session in terms of the history that was connected to it as well, perhaps.
Yes, it was.
Do you think in those situations when you confront folks who are using these terms with their intended purpose, their racial overtones in this particular case, that is there something you can do to challenge that, or have these people just got these ideas and that's it? Can
That
things
and
change?
some of them are persuadable and others aren't.
Yeah, okay.
On the television a few weeks ago I saw a man, this was at one of the John McCain campaign things, he was saying that he thinks that Barack Obama is a terrorist and a Muslim and he's trying to take the arms of Americans so that they can't defend themselves against terrorists. When you're trying to convince a person like that he's a racist or he's a bigot, you're not going to have any success.
Hard job.
But if someone is young and convincible, then you may have a chance.
Yeah.
That's why it's a good idea to talk to people about these things while they're young.
Yeah. So in terms of that then, that's obviously what this program is about. That
Yes.
We've been working with you guys over the last few weeks to gather your ideas and sort of see what you guys know about race and where race is and all this sort of stuff in the minds of young people. Where do you think this sort of program would fit best? Is it tapping in with guys of your age? Is that where it should happen? Should it happen with older people, younger people? Where is it best to capture those people before they fix their minds?
Younger.
Younger, do you think? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because they're making their decisions.
Yeah. Okay.
a younger age.
Do you think young folks, if you can perhaps cast your mind back to primary school, do you think young folks have the capacities to pick up on some of these ideas? Or is it,
No, not really, but
so it has to be delivered in a particular way, do you think?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Same ideas, right?
Yes, I agree that it is important to talk to older and younger people about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it may be best directed at people
Sure.
around 15,
Yeah,
school,
okay.
high school age.
Yeah. So you reckon folks of your age probably the best market to work with, the best group of folks to talk? Yeah, good.
I just have two
Sure.
things. I know we've promised Ms Bell would only pull people out for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but two things. Number one, do you think Harristown is a racist school or a racist environment? That's my
Yes.
first question. You think it is?
Okay.
Is there any sort of evidence, or what could you give an example of why do you think that? What is it that you base that decision on?
Well, there are many different races here, and they are racist. Like yesterday, there was a bit of a disagreement with the person that I know and with one person, and then they were Aboriginal, and then about 7 of them went after him.
7 of the Aboriginal kids went after the other
Yeah.
kid.
All the stereotypes around the school. Yesterday I heard someone saying that if you get in an altercation with an Indigenous Australian, there will be a whole gang of them after you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So would you agree that this, Matt said quite clearly he believes that the school is a racist environment?
In some ways, it's probably not as much of a problem as it was decades ago.
Hang on, I was here decades ago. You're right. I think, well, I don't know. I can't recall there being many non-white faces in the school when I was here in 1971.
Yeah, people like judge like Aboriginal school for being, because like our school is very judged on how many fights we started in that school, and everyone just blames it straight on
We've
the
been in the newspaper a couple of times, haven't we? Yeah.
and it's just everyone blames it on the Aboriginal
Indigenous kids.
straight away. Like that's
Yeah.
why that's what everyone picks up about Harristown. There's a lot of
But not the Sudanese kids. So why do you think it is? Why do you think it is that the Indigenous kids get...
maybe
Wait.
because this is probably the school that's got the most and this fights. They just automatically think that.
So, and in your opinion, do the Indigenous kids look to fight more than...
They have a different attitude towards how they're going to solve problems, but that's just, I don't know, not particular to some people, but
But one of the other guys we talked to earlier said that there was a whole range of reasons that people are picked on, discriminated against in the school, not just racial ones, that there were matters of gender and sexuality, homophobic activity and whatever. Would you agree with that?
yeah.
Okay, here's the difficult question. No one's been able to answer, there's no right answer obviously, but no one's been able to actually suggest an answer, I don't think, yet to this question. Is there one of those reasons for being picked on that's more significant in this school than others? Like, is it that you're more likely to get picked on because of your gender than because of your race, or more likely to be picked on because of your sexuality as opposed to your how much clothing or how much money or what sort of clothes you're wearing? Is there a prime one?
I don't think gender would be up there.
Okay.
There's, like, I do know that because of, this probably isn't thing, but like people with disabilities, people pick on them the most out of anybody, I think. And then where they come from, what colour their skin are.
By and large, everyone we've spoken to so far, I think you're the 4th pair, that has been very positive about the 4 weeks, and I think it was people just being nice to us. But what would be your view, without name, I'm not looking for any names here, but how do you think the rest of the class has really responded to this work on race?
I think that they've all, like, it's all hit everybody that like they now understand more about it.
See, some people will resist having to think about race because they've got their minds made up. People in the community, and so they resist. They say, what a waste of time, it's just a heap of garbage, black's black and white's white, and you know what that's all about. Do you think any of your colleagues in your class would sort of be in that category? I'm not looking for names, obviously.
Racist.
Yeah, or have already got their minds made up, and this stuff's just a waste of time.
I don't think they will really.
So everyone's fairly receptive to the ideas that we're presenting? Yeah, yeah. Do you think the age group, so people of your age and generation, so people around the age of 14, 15, is that the place to get this stuff, do you reckon, or is it too late? Is it better off dealing with older people or younger people or people your age?
Maybe like people that are a bit younger,
Okay.
like maybe when they go into high school or something.
Yeah, okay.
Because in primary
Because
school,
like,
it's
yeah,
fine.
because when they go to
Yeah.
high school, it's like when you realise when people start the bullying and the fights and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So nip it in the bud first
Before,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.